I'm Dr. Nirmala Rao. I'm a psychiatrist and I'm practicing for the past 25 years. And I'm seeing that many changes which are taking place all around us is causing a lot of stress for all around. And now the competitiveness is increased, the peer pressure is increasing. There are problems everywhere. Many a times, parents bring their children to us saying that there's a problem with the child. Invariably, we say that a problem is not with the child. Problem is always when there is a problem with the child, then there is a problem at home. So that is how we end up doing parenting classes. And when we take up children, many times they are brought because they are not studying, they are not behaving properly, academically poor performers, and although they are intelligent, we find that somewhere the handling of the children are not adequate enough, which is causing the problem. So we need to work up with the children to reduce their internal stress. We do a lot of play therapy and color therapy for that. That is where my child guidance clinic comes, where we deal children with various problems and we help them to overcome their own stresses and strains. In groups, we teach them how to study, better put in study habits, time management and things like that. And as they grow, and teenager is another age where there are many more problems coming in, sudden freedom when they enter the college and hormones raging into the system, making them go totally off track and getting them into problems. Unfortunately, many times people come to us once they are in problems, once they are in difficulties. I do these workshops and seminars to preempt the problems, because if one child is coming to me with a problem, there are at least 100 more with the problems outside of the society, but they are not even approaching us. It's like that. We find today's time a lot of parental pressure. Parents really pressurize children to perform to the exclusiveness of everything else. Only perform. It's not every child is able to be academically superior or perform and deliver the marks desired by the parent. But there are other qualities in the child which also needs to be identified, and we have to groom them in such a manner that they are successful in their lives. Again and again we have to tell the parents that you see that your child becomes successful by using more options rather than just making them robots for performing only. So this is an uphill task. We are with the society's demands are so much placed on us. Coping up with all that, there's a pressure all around on the parents, on the children, and the system, education system, everywhere. So today we are finding many more people getting into these anxieties and depressions and fears and phobias because of the stresses all around. And in teenagers, especially once they enter the college and they find freedom and they do not want to be very comfortable with their parents, and they keep doing things which can get into difficulties and put them into really adverse situations. So that is why I started this workshop where teenagers sit with each other. We only facilitate their talking, we facilitate their conversation into guiding them to realize what are their priorities in life, how do they take charge of their life, what do they do for themselves, how to cope up with the difficult situations and still stay aligned to their goals. And that is why these teenage workshops are there, and summer camps we do, where we take the children to realize the values of life, what else is required and all. I also do a lot of vocational counseling, career counseling, where each child, especially after 10th or 12th, is confused because today there are many options open for the children. So to identify their choice, people say, parents say, oh, I leave it to my child, they can decide, they can choose for themselves. But it is not easy for a child to choose because he doesn't know much about the world. He chooses because his friends choose something or his parents have told something, but on his own he is not able to identify what he would want for himself. So there is a battery of tests he has to go through, in which we identify his intelligence, his interests, his personality from within, where the orientation could come, and his ability to put in long hours, his adjustment in the house, in the society, about his health. And so there's a battery of tests which tests differential ability, we call it. Different abilities are tested. After doing all these tests, we take the child and the parent and counsel them on each aspect of this test, and to make them clear to them, okay, this child is good in this, the child is personality is oriented for this, so he could choose this career for himself. And so he will do better if he chooses some different career rather than what you desire for, and all this done. So this is what we call as career counseling is done. So different types of approach is required to deal with the children and adolescents when we are dealing with their problems. There is no formula type of approach. You cannot say this one approach is going to solve everything and everything is going to be alright because I tell the child don't do this or do this and things will be alright. It's not like that. In today's time, there are too many outside influences which are operating on the child. Too much exposure to the electronic media, too much exposure to all these games, video games, which gives instant responses to them. Too much exposure to the materialism. All these things are making them get confused and distracted. So to stay aligned and pursue their goals are becoming difficult. And so we need to help them time and again. So a lot of help is required for the children, and that can be done by the children who have gone through difficulties themselves, and also by the society needs to do a lot of activities with the children to help them to realize their own potential and move ahead in life. Thank you.